Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we will be doing a 4-figure review, technically 5, but 4 actual releases. So we're going to be looking at Jeice, Ginyu, Burter and Guldo, and Recoome. That's right, we're looking at the entire Ginyu Force today. I thought it would be easier doing them all at once, especially since a lot of accessories that one comes with work for another, or there's a lot of like figure DLC stuff, and I think this is one of the first times Tamashii Nations were really like testing the waters with that. And it makes sense that the Ginyu Force would share accessories between each other. So why not review them all as one bundle, go through what I like, what I don't like, and what would be interesting if they were to ever revisit these figures another time. So first off, a lot of these boxes are really huge. None of them are the standard size, so it is kind of interesting having them all together in storage, but they do look really nice. They are the standard box designed for S.H.Figuarts, but having the varying sizes makes them stand out quite a bit more. And it makes sense because all of the Ginyu Force were varying body shapes and styles, so it is nice to see. So we will jump right into it because there's a lot to talk about. So out of the box, Captain Ginyu comes with a decent amount. So we've got the figure itself, 4 faces, the 4-star Dragon Ball, as well as a bunch of different hands. Jeice is in a similar position. So we've got the figure itself, 4 faces, an alternate head sculpt for Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. We've got alternate shoulder pads for some of the dynamic posing, which is really cool as well. We get a alternate back plate so you can put Jeice on stands pretty easily. We get the 2-star Dragon Ball, we get a Crusher Ball effect part, a bunch of different hands, as well as a suitcase for the Scouters. This does not open, it is just a cool little accessory. For Recoome, we also get a pretty good amount. So we get the figure itself, we get 4 faces for Recoome, as well as an alternate head for Captain Ginyu. We get a frog, as well as a Dragon Ball. I forgot which star it is because I'm watching this zoomed out and I can't really tell right now. We will get into it a little bit later though. We do also get a bunch of different hands. And lastly, for Burter and Guldo, it is one of the more interesting loadouts because it's technically a lot and technically very little. So we get the figure itself, 2 faces for Burter, a bunch of different hands, a Dragon Ball of course, and Guldo and swappable arms for Guldo. Guldo is not really a standard S.H.Figuarts, he's more so a statue/accessory. So, does he count as an accessory of Burter? Is he his own figure? Sort of up in the air, but he is included in this box, and it is an interesting little thing. So, across all of them, you get a lot of accessories, in particular between, Jeice and Recoome, you get heaps of accessories, which is really cool. Jeice is definitely the most accessorized out of the entire lot, having an effect part, alternate faces, a DLC face for another figure, as well as the suitcase and back plate to put him on a stand, let alone the Dragon Ball. So it is a really cool loadout. They've done a really good job across the board for all of them. I wish most S.H.Figuarts were this accessorized, but it is what it is. Anyway, taken out of the box and put on display, here are all 5 figures, and they look really nice. It is lovely that they are all unique sculpts, different heights, different styles, and even the way similar parts feel work completely differently. Like, Jeice's shoulder pads are on hinges, whereas Recoome's are on these like weird plugs. It's really interesting how all of this works, and we will also be going through that as well, about the similarities and differences. But they do all look fantastic. Not a huge amount of paint on them, a lot of bare plastic, but that's sort of normal for these figures. But they all look really nice. Nice, bright colors, really nice detail, and the differences between all of the armors are way more noticeable now when they're all set up, whereas, when you're thinking about them, you might just imagine the basic sort of Frieza Force armor and not the subtle differences of, Recoome's got skirt pieces, or Ginyu's only got the skirt pieces on the side, Jeice has none of that, and Burter has none of that as well. Burter's chest piece is black. Really cool subtle things like that you might not necessarily think of when you think of the Ginyu Force. Anyway, we will jump into posability because it's where the figures should shine. So Ginyu has got a ball joint in the head and neck, good range of motion, so you can get a pretty good amount there. The shoulder pads are on a hinge plug sort of system, so you can move them around a little bit. They do pop off pretty easily though, but they plug on just as easily. Arms can rotate around, butterfly in. There's a swivel at the upper arm, bend at the elbow, and ball hinge at the wrist. There is a decent amount of crunching in the chest, swivel at the waist. His skirt pieces can flip up and out of the way. He can kick forward and back that far. He can do the splits that far. There's a swivel at the thigh, bend at the knees, as well as a pivot and bend at the ankle and toe. Pretty good motion. It is what you expect out of S.H.Figuarts, but the range of motion is pretty good, especially on the head and the butterfly on the arms. Recoome is similar. We'll go through mainly what is different. So the head range is pretty much the same. He is, well, actually all of the Ginyu Force have very, very similar motion. It's just about like the bulk of the figures and how they work. So like Recoome's butterfly is a little bit deeper than the others. His joints are a little bit tighter than the others as well. Although his waist, because of how much weight is in it, the ball joint in the crunching doesn't really work too well. If you're doing like side to side, the weight sort of like balances him back out, so it is a little hard to use. The skirt pieces also pop off very easily on this one, whether that's a sign of it as a pre-owned figure or not. It just was like that, who knows. But it does make it a little bit difficult to pose him around. Usually it's easier to put him into a pose and then reattach the shoulder and waist armor. For Burter, he's got a similar range of motion in the head, a little bit more limited though. He can rotate his arms around, pretty good crunching and rotation. And the arms in general are quite long, so you don't need the butterfly that much on it, which is interesting. The chest has got a similar ball joint in it, but the design is a bit different, but the range of motion is just about the same. I will say that swapping fists on Burter is incredibly hard. This is the only figure out of the lot that I got brand new, and I don't know if it was part of the figure's design and everyone's is like this, but I had to struggle to swap out all of the hands on this figure. It was just way too tight for the ball joint, and I really had to force it. I was worried about breaking him the entire time, and he is kind of hard to stand up because of how top heavy he is and how tall he is. Whereas Recoome is bulky and tall, and Burter is sort of like just tall and weirdly top heavy. And Jeice is the closest to a regular 2.0 figure, but he's got just about the same range of motion as the other figures. The most limited in the head range, honestly, but that's also because of the hair. The hair is a solid piece, so it is very heavy and weighs down the figure a lot. Kinda sucks. But range of motion is about what you expect. Decent amount of crunching in the waist, rotation, arms can do just about everything you think they can, and his legs can split that far, not a whole crazy lot that you can do. Kicking forward is fine, and generally he can get into some pretty good dynamic poses. He can achieve what he needs to, but the limitations in the head and hair do actually hinder the figure a little bit. And then Guldo, he can move his head. And you can swap out his arms as well, but this is effectively just a statue. It's a little bit disappointing that it is a bit of a statue, and he has, swappable arms is cool and everything like that, but if you want to have the entire Ginyu Force in unique poses, Guldo can only do 2 poses, and that's super limiting, especially with only one facial expression, so it does kind of suck. Now for faces, Captain Ginyu has a smirking, cocky face out of the box. He's got a angry shouting face. He's got a mouth open looking down shouting face. This is sort of for the actual poses. He's got an sort of angry, serious face looking to the side without a scouter, and I believe this is specifically for battle damaged Goku. Like when Goku is in Ginyu's body, you even get a swappable chest part for the battle damage from when Ginyu did the changed body. And you also get the frog face from the Recoome figure, and that also does not have a scouter, but looks nice. Burter has got a standard smirking face out of the box, looks very, very nice, and he's got a mouth open shouting face. Both faces look good. The range of expression does kind of suck, so you don't get a lot out of it, but it's enough. Recoome has got this sort of dumb grin out of the box, looks fantastic. The line work on all of these faces is incredible. He's got a mouth open, really wide shout, which I think would be for the Recoome cannon or Recoome eraser gun. I can't remember, the mouth cannon. Then he's got a slightly smaller shouting face looking down and to his right. And then he's got that exact same expression but down and looking to the left. These are more so for the actual Ginyu Force poses. Jeice has got a smirk out of the box. He's got a shouting face looking to the side, which is specifically for a pose as well. He's got a shouting face looking forward, as well as a smaller shouting face looking forward. These are subtle expressions, but they're different enough that you can count them as different faces. Guldo again only has one face, but still looks nice nonetheless. And Jeice also comes with the alternate head sculpt for the Sand Raised on Earth Goku. This is not a swappable face, this is a unique head, and it's got a scouter. It's the evil Goku because Ginyu's in his body now. So really good range of faces, really nice expressions, and with all of the accessories you can get these figures into some really nice poses. Having them all with their Dragon Balls looks very, very nice as well. I do like the powered down Namekian Dragon Balls, that this was the first time they ever released them, and they look nice when you shine lights on them. They did later do activated Namekian Dragon Balls that came with a bunch of different figures as well as the Purunga, and there's a whole bunch of Dragon Balls being released in all sorts of ways. Anyway, if you wanted all 7 of the Namekian Dragon Balls, you needed the entire Ginyu Force. On top of that, you needed the Journey to Planet Namek Bulma, as well as Kid Gohan, and First Form Frieza, and with all of them, you can finally have all 7 of the big Namekian Dragon Balls. These figures hold them in really awkward ways. It is very hard to balance them, and they weren't designed to hold them really that well at all. It is possible, but not ideal. Like, if you've got them in a display holding all of the Dragon Balls, I would recommend like some sticky blue tack or something like that, because like if you walk past it with too much heavy footsteps or running past it, they will fall out. Like, they are not holding in by friction or anything like that. But again, you can get these figures into some really, really nice poses. It is really fun. I do like the expression on Ginyu the most. He has sort of the most versatile posability because he's a large figure but not like overly heavy, so you can get him into some pretty good dynamic stuff without it like weighing down the figure too much. And I enjoyed getting into all sorts of funny little poses. I enjoyed getting all of the figures into some funny little poses. Even like Jeice having the swappable shoulder part for his dynamic pose is nice for both arms. The Crusher Ball is really cool. I think it's one of the first times they ever had like the floating clip effect holder piece for like the wrists and things to make it look more seamless. That was really cool. Even having the alternate back plate to hold them up as well. Just a really, really cool set of accessories all around. And of course you can get them into the iconic Ginyu Force poses. I did my best. I was in a little bit of a rush just because of how many accessories were flying around in my office, so I had to try and work fast and efficient. But I think I got them into some iconic poses pretty okay. I do appreciate that Burter does also come with an extra large stand clip to hold it in, but he does not come with a stand, which is stupid. So he comes with a clip to hold him, but he doesn't come with the Tamashii Nation's like specific stand to clip into the clip. It's a whole sort of weird things, weird decisions. But yeah, in general, I tried to get them into some nice, good group poses. So with the Dragon Balls, their main iconic pose, as well as their sort of sub pose. The problem with the sub pose is that Guldo is only in the main pose, and he only has the weird attack hands as his other pose. So it's like this main sort of other one, which I do actually prefer, with like Ginyu flaying his arms out and Burter and Recoome mirroring each other, is really, really nice. But Guldo is just, he's just there. So it sucks that we didn't get those options and Guldo wasn't his own figure. Even if they, raised the price and made Burter and Guldo still a double pack, but made Guldo actually movable, like the, Tien and Chaozu packs and stuff like that, you could get a lot more out of this. But as it stands, it is a little bit limiting, and that does suck. They are still all fantastic figures, and they look great all together. And I was super impressed with the actual weight distribution of Ginyu, especially in that final pose, because his feet are genuinely holding up the entire figure. I didn't use a stand for him. I was genuinely amazed. But yeah, they're all generally really good. Some limitations here or there. locking the big Dragon Balls behind premium Bandai figures kind of sucks, especially since the only standard releases out of them were Ginyu and First Form Frieza. So if you wanted all of the Namekian Dragon Balls, you had to be ready to shell it out, especially now in the aftermarket. It's even worse. But, you know, they are nice figures. It would be nice if they did like 3.0 revisits of them, because there are some things that I think could be better in them, and, you know, if they used the Saiyan armor designs that they do now, or the Frieza Force armor designs that they do now, I feel like all of the issues that I had with the pieces falling off would be non-issues now, and they would have better posability in general. But, you know, it's hard to revisit an entire set of figures, especially, you know, when they've been done pretty well already. And, you know, I think we've genuinely had enough of Namek for the moment. You know, we're doing Nail, the new Krillin, and Guru as of recording. And I dread that they'll be announcing even more for Namek when they've left Android Saga and Cell Saga on the cutting room floor, and you're barely touching Buu Saga. So I would prefer they go to those first, and, you know, in another 5 years, you know, revisit the Ginyu Force at some point. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. As you can see, I'm hard at work making new videos for the channel. Now, while I'm happy with where the channel is right now, I could use your help. By liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, it helps out the YouTube algorithm and recommends my channel to more people. So if you like any of my videos, please let me know, it really helps out. And if you liked this one, please let me know too. It means a lot to me, and I really, really appreciate all of you guys.